Excel is broken down into 4 main areas. One of them we just talked about, and that's the ribbon up here. The next one is the formula bar, and that's this strip that goes all the way across the screen right here. And then we have this section down here. This is where our data actually shows up, where we enter things and manipulate that data. And then down at the bottom we've got some information that shows up in this area. What we're going to focus on in this video is the spreadsheet section. And what I want to do is just get you familiar with what's going on here, because you have to be able to speak Excel in order to use the application. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is, what is all this grid stuff? What are all these lines for? Notice across the top we've got letters of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, all the way across. And this goes, if you continue and you put more and more data there, notice it starts to duplicate. So now it's A, B, A, C, A, D. I'm not even going to tell you how many columns that you can have here, and that's what these are. Every vertical structure that you see here, this is a column. So this is column AD. If we go to the beginning here, this is column B. All these cells, all these little rectangles, are in column B. And I've selected them. Notice that they've all changed color. That's what happens when we select a cell. I'll click D, and this is column D. Now, the same thing applies on the left-hand side, only these are numbers. So I've got 1 through like 6,500 million something. I don't know, it's an outrageous number. If you keep going down here, that number, the number of rows, and that's what these are, okay, horizontal here across, this is row 35. All these cells are in row 35. The number of rows that you can have is just astronomical, and if I told you right now, you wouldn't remember by the time we're done, so we're not going to deal with that. But what we do want to talk about is the relationship between the columns and the rows. Notice that I've selected this cell, and I've got the outline around it showing that it is selected. And at the same time, column C, the text for it, is highlighted, and row 12 is highlighted. That means this location right here is C12. This is like a grid, C12. So this is where column C and row 12 intersect. And if I hold my control key down, and this would be the command key on the Mac, I can click column C and click row 12, and you will see that in fact that is where they intersect. And that is how we know that this cell is C12. On the formula bar up here, over to the left, we have the name box, and that is showing us that this is cell C12. If I pick a different cell, it is G12, okay, and that shows up here. F22, all of that shows up in the name box. So that's how we reference cells, and the reason that this is important is because each cell can contain a little piece of data. And when you want to have Excel manipulate that data automatically, especially, you have to be able to tell Excel what data you're talking about. And that's how we do it. We're going to find out later on about something called formulas and functions. And those are ways that we can reference specific areas in the file to calculate or make calculations based upon what is contained in that cell. Now, the name of this file is sales.xlsx. Okay, and this is the new format for Excel 2007. Inside of this one file, we can have multiple spreadsheets with grids just like this. And down here on the bottom left, you'll see that I have some tabs here. This one is called NOV for November, and that's what this is all about, is November sales report. And sheet 2 is another tab. If I click on that, I'll get a brand new grid. This is still in the same file. So I'm still in sales.xlsx. I can go to sheet 3. And by default, whenever you start up Excel and you get a new spreadsheet like this, you get 3 sheets. Now you can create a new one if you want, just by clicking this button here. And now you can see that I have 4 sheets. And if you want to delete those, right click and go to delete. Now I just have 3 again. Okay, so this is the spreadsheet area itself, made up of cells, rows, and columns. And inside each one of these cells, we can put little pieces of data, and you can have several of these spreadsheets in one file. Okay? Now let's go ahead in the next exercise, and we're going to take a look at the formula bar.